perhaps what a lawyer does. One of the important aspect of lawyer's job is to get the disputes resolved. Sometimes it happens in the court, sometimes out of court settlements also do happen. So arbitration is a process in which the disputes between the parties in the case are mutually resolved with the help of lawyer. So arbitration, no doubt, is a professional income for a lawyer. Then comes legal consultation, and undoubtedly this is also a professional income. So consulting is one of the important job what a lawyer does. So that is also professional income. Loan is not an income. Loan is a liability, and we have discussed this in the preceding questions also. So loan will not come under income. Next, rent from house property. So rent from house property is not a income from profession. We have a separate head of income for this, so this wouldn't arrive under profession. Likewise, interest from any kind of investments, any income from any kind of investment, it may be a debenture, deposit, government securities, shares, all this is taxable under the head income from other sources. So this would also not appear here. Now there is another item which says profit from sale of Xerox machine. Now Xerox, or the photocopying machine, is used by the lawyer in his office, and obviously he's using it for his profession. The asset is used for his profession. But as I explained to you people in the preceding sessions also, any profit made from selling fixed assets, intangible assets, fictitious assets, either profit or a loss, is taxable under the head capital gains. So any kind of profit or loss made from sale of or from transfer of fixed assets, intangible assets, fictitious assets would not come under the head profession or business. It is taxable under the head capital gains. So this is also not a professional income. And finally, you have share of income from Hindu undivided family. Now, share of income from Hindu undivided family has nothing to do with profession. Point number one. Point number two, share of income from Hindu undivided family is also an exempted income. So under both the circumstances, this would not come under the head profession. So which means we have only two professional incomes from the cash book. Now let's also look at the adjustments. In adjustment number 5, there's an income. It says cash gift received from client is not recorded in the books. So he has already received the cash, but he has not recorded it. So we shall record it at the time of showing the calculation. So there are 3 professional receipts: arbitration fees, legal consulting fee, and then you have cash gift from the from the client. So all these 3 are professional incomes. Now let's move on to the expenses. Staff salaries is a professional income. Professional books, as per the rule, we have to charge 60%, not 60%, what's the rate? 40%, I guess. Professional books, books, the rate of depreciation on books is now changed to 40%. So you guys have to make a change in the question also. So please make a change there and make this as 40%. Okay. So on books, we have to charge depreciation. So depreciation needs to be charged on this. 40% is the rate of depreciation. That's the new rate applicable for your batch. Then you have refreshments, which is a general expense. You have clients visiting for whom you have to offer refreshments, and obviously employees also get the refreshments periodically, timely basis. So this is a general office expense. Rent of the office is also a professional expense. Then you have telephone charges, printing charges. So both are required to run the office. So professional expense. But electricity charges, there is an adjustment which needs to be incorporated. So as per the adjustment number 4, half of the electric charges are pertaining to house property. So only half can be charged. Likewise, telephone expenses also there's an adjustment which we didn't look at it. So telephone expenses, 25% of telephone was used for personal, which means only 75 can be taken. 75% can be taken, and here it is half, because the remaining half is for house property. Then you have car purchased. Now, car purchased is a capital expenditure, so uh, it's an asset and it goes to balance sheet. So now what happens here is we have to see whether the car is exclusively used by the SSC for profession or not, and we have the clue here in adjustment number 1, which says half of the car is used for profession. Anyways, we don't record car because car is a balance sheet item, so it's an inadmissible item. It will not come under professional expenses, but the SSC can claim depreciation on car. You see here there is a depreciation on car. So while charging depreciation on car, you have to be careful and not charge the full depreciation, but rather charge only half depreciation, because only half the car is used for profession. So any expense associated with the car will also be allowed in the proportion of usage which is on profession. So depreciation can be charged, but only half the depreciation will be allowed. Likewise, car expenses can also be claimed, but again, only half will be permitted, not full. Next, you have a subscription to journals, which is a professional expense. All professionals, for that matter, needs to have an update in the area in which they work, and these updates they get from various sources. One of the sources to get the knowledge updated is through referring the journals. So this is also a professional expense. National saving certificate purchased is not a professional expense, it's an investment. Next, you have bar association fee. Now, bar stands for Barrister Association, and barrister is again a lawyer, and every profession has a professional body or an association which an individual who is practicing a particular profession has to be a part of. So doctors are part of the medical association, chartered accountants are part of the CA Institute, member lawyers and advocates are member of bar council or the bar association. So this is a professional expense, there's no doubt. Computer purchase is a capital expenditure, and on computer 60% depreciation needs to be charged, right? So there is one adjustment which says loan was taken for daughter's marriage. Anyways, that has no implication because there is no interest on loan given in the expense side. But had interest on loan was given on the expense side, we would not have considered that, because the loan which is given here is taken for daughter's marriage. So interest would not have been allowed, but interest is not mentioned in the question itself in the table. So anyways, so this is of no use. So this adjustment, no need to incorporate. So these are the incomes and expenses. So kindly start doing the solution now, all of you. So always begin with the opening statement while you're writing these solutions. So write computation of income from profession of Mr. Jetmalani for the assessment year 2021. If you have any questions in this illustration, any doubts, please go ahead and clarify. If you do not have any questions, then we will proceed to the next illustration. Okay, so please have a look at the next question, question number 5, illustration 5. I've anyway shared the answer in the message box of the previous question which we just did now. So in case if you have not noted it down, then you can do it later. Right now focus on illustration 5. Quickly go through this. So in this question, you have to make two corrections. One, car purchase, the date is 1st July 2019. I think earlier some other date was given in your handout, so please make a change. Car purchase is 1st April 2000, 1st July 2019, and depreciation on books is 40%. Let's quickly identify the incomes. Now the SSC is following cash method of accounting, and I told you in cash method of accounting, we can account for any transaction of any year provided cash should have been received. So when we say cash system, obviously all these transactions are recorded here because there is either a cash inflow for receipts and cash outflow for payments. Whereas in mercantile system, we do not record receipts of all the years. We record receipts of only previous year. But this is not mercantile system. This is cash system. In cash system, you'll have receipts and payments account or a cash book. In mercantile system, you'll have income and expenditure account. Right. So let's identify the professional incomes. The first one is legal fee. Now, legal fee is a professional income, obviously, for a lawyer. So this is a professional income, and all the 3 years. Special commission is also a professional income. Likewise, lawyers do examine important documents for which they get document examination fee. So this is also a professional income. Salary as a part-time lecturer. Now salary, he is a lawyer and probably he's teaching in a law school or a law college where he teaches as a part-time faculty and he's getting paid. And therefore salary cannot be taxed under the head profession, and therefore this will not come here. Okay, because the word salary is clearly mentioned. Doesn't matter, part-time and full-time does not matter. As far as it's a salary income, it is taxable under the head salary. So we don't take this. Interest on fixed deposit, again, taxable under the head other sources. Sale of property, so whenever you sell any asset, as I mentioned, it is taxable under the head capital gains. Dividend is again an income which is taxable under the head other sources. Director fee, 100 rupees. This is also not a professional income. Now, in order to become director of a company, one of the important pointers, in order to become a board of director, you need not have to be a lawyer. Anybody can become a board of director provided company laws guidelines are followed. So there is no mandate from Companies Act 2013 or amendment made thereafter that only a lawyer should be a director of a company. So there is no condition that law is a qualification to become a director. Anybody with any qualification can be a director of a company, board of director. So therefore, director fee, in order to be a director, you need not have to be a lawyer. And therefore, this is not taxable under the head profession. Maturity value of ULIP. ULIP stands for Unit Linked Insurance Plan. So this is also a kind of an investment. So this is also not taxable under the head profession. Then we have the expenses. Rent paid, obviously professional expense. Subscription to law journals is also a professional income. Books, again, we have to charge depreciation, and as I mentioned, you have to charge 40% depreciation. The rate of depreciation is given here in the question. Even if it is not given, it's your responsibility to remember. Car expense, 7,000, and 1/3 of the car is used for personal purpose. So the remaining 2/3, that means 2/3 is used for professions. Only 2/3 is allowed. And then office expense, again a professional expense. Electricity, again a professional expense. Household expense is not a professional expense. Similarly, donation is also not a professional expense. Now, car purchased, again a capital expenditure, so this is not allowed. But of course, the SSC can claim depreciation on car. Now, when you're calculating depreciation on car, again ensure the depreciation is allowed only in the proportion of usage. So only 2/3 of the depreciation will be allowed. And as per the question, the car is purchased on 1st July 2019, which means it is used for more than 180 days, and therefore full depreciation is allowed. You have life insurance premium, which is a personal expense, so this is not allowed. So pertaining to books, there is an adjustment. Right, so let's look at the adjustment. As per adjustment number 2, he claims 200 worth of books were purchased as a lecturer and 1,500 worth of books were purchased as a profession. So he has spent 1,700 on books, and what the question says is this 1,700, 1,500 was for his profession, and remaining 200 worth of books were for his lecture job. You see here there's a point which says he's also working as a part-time lecturer. So 200 worth of books that were purchased for lectureship is not allowed. Remaining 1,500 worth of books which was purchased for profession is permitted. So when we are charging depreciation on law books, instead of charging it on 1,700, we should charge it on 1,500. So that's the adjustment. Any question, any doubts on this?
So, can you also explain salary as a part-time lecturer?
So salary as a part-time lecturer, the moment the word salary comes, you need not bother. Salary is taxable under the head salary. That's it. But see, as a lawyer, I may be working as a part-time professor in a law college. Right? Similarly, you also come across doctors also do work in medical colleges as a guest faculty, as a visiting faculty, as a part-time faculty. So what happens if there is a contractual obligation? If they are working as an employee, then that amount what they are getting from the institution, from the college or the university, will be taxable as salary income. because in income tax we have a separate head called salary. So therefore anything which is taxable under the salary will not come under any of the other heads. So therefore his salary as a part-time lecturer cannot be considered as his professional income, because in income tax we have a separate head of income called salary, and this amount will go under that head, right? Now in order to teach
Yes.
also you need to apply your intellectual skills. So technically what is a profession? We have discussed professional involves any occupation which requires you to have a professional qualification, which requires you to apply your intellectual skills. So teaching also is a profession, there is no doubt. But as I told you, in case if you're working for somebody, if there is an employee and employee relationship, that is not a profession, that becomes a salary. So therefore, salary as a part-time lecturer will be considered as income from salary. And since in income tax we have a separate dedicated head of income, so that would go there.
So thank you so much, sir.
Okay. So any other questions? Okay. So if there are no questions, then you people can write down the solution.